Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Sunday Sessions with me, Nick Peninsula. Today's message: time is precious and your phone is stealing more of it than you might think. Now, you probably already know that, but what you might not know is that your phone is stealing more than just your time. In fact, as we will soon see, it is destroying your productivity, it's rewiring your brain, and it's lowering your confidence. So let's fix it. Now, before I get into today's episode, I want to share a couple of stats with you. These might be eye-opening. Did you know that the average adult spends 4 hours a day on their phone? 4 hours. Let me say that again. The average adult spends 4 hours a day on their phone, which, over the course of a year, 60 full days. 60 full days over the course of a year. That is a sixth of the year just spent tapping away on the phone. It's crazy. And as I was saying earlier, phone usage doesn't just steal your time though. It impacts us negatively in a further 3 ways. First up, it really hinders our productivity. I think we've all been there where we've got a job to do, but it's easier to just pull out the phone and flick through and get those little dopamine hits, right? Watch those cat videos and flick through Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So rather than getting the job done, which we know has to be done and will still be waiting for us, whether or not we complete it immediately or 3 hours later, it's still going to need to be done. And our phone usage destroys our productivity. We start to procrastinate more because it's easier to just flick open the phone and flick through a bit of Facebook or Instagram. Another way that our phone hinders us and our progress is through distraction. Our phone weakens our ability to get any deep work done. So that means rather than focusing for an hour and a half on a piece of key work that'll really drive the business forward, we think about what's happening on Facebook or Instagram, and then we flick it open. And instead of focusing for 90 minutes or so on that key piece of work, what we find that we're doing is 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of work and then flicking open on Facebook or Instagram. Another way that our phone limits our ability to do deep work is because we're so used to 2-3 minute videos, whatever it is, these reels. So our brain starts to latch onto the fact that it only ever needs to concentrate for 2 or 3 minutes at a time. So rather than doing an hour's solid work, which is what we used to be able to do because we didn't have these little dopamine hits in the palm of our hands, we used to be able to concentrate for a lot longer. But nowadays, because of phone usage, our concentration levels are shrinking. We are used to watching 2 or 3 minute videos, and that limits our ability to focus on key tasks and get more done. Another way that our phones impact us negatively is because of comparison. So we'll be flicking through on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, and we see these posts where people are achieving great things, and it makes us compare ourselves to them. We think, they're doing so well. How come I'm not doing so well? And that comparison, that is the thief of joy. We look at what they're doing and we want what they have. We wonder why we are not achieving as much as they're achieving. But the reality is, all we're seeing is their highlight reel. We're not seeing what goes on behind the scenes. Equally damaging, because we're looking at what everyone else is doing and what everyone else is achieving, we're not focusing on what we've done, what we've achieved. And these are great things as well. So by comparing ourselves every 2 minutes, what we're actually doing is not focusing on the fact that we are doing great things too. So I guess the core message that I want you to take away is, just because using your phone feels harmless, it doesn't mean it is. And I want to give you an analogy to bring this to life for you. We can all agree that high volume, low nutrient food isn't good for us. It makes us feel unwell, it makes us feel overweight, it makes us feel sluggish. We may even end up with heart disease or diabetes. Well, it's the same with phone usage. We're getting high volume, low nutrient content. It makes our minds distracted. dull and emotionally bloated. And what we end up with is diabetes of the brain. We're addicted to those little dopamine hits. So ask yourself, or even better check, how long are you spending on your phone and what's the damage it's causing to you? I bet you use your phone way more than you actually think you do. The good news is that there's a solution. It's an app called Stay Focused. You can get it on both Android and on Apple, and it's free. Obviously, you have to pay for a few upgrades here and there. I think it's less than £10 to get the upgrades, but completely worth it. I've done it. The way the app works, it intervenes when you've used your phone for too long. So whether it's an app or a website, you set the phone up to have limits on how long you can access that website or that app. And then when you breach those limits, the app steps in and says, no more. You can also set a bedtime on your phone. So for me, 9 p.m. until 9 a.m, the phone is locked. I'm not allowed to sit there and mess around with YouTube or whatever. 9 p.m. is time to start getting ready for bed, time to start reading my book, time to relax. I don't want my phone distracting me. I think we've all been there as well, where we've woken up during the night, ended up messing around on YouTube or Instagram or whatever for half an hour. Before you know it, there's no time for sleep. You've got to get up for work. Well, this app, Stay Focused, puts an end to that. Now, just to calm your fears, you can whitelist certain apps so that they can be used no matter whether or not your phone is locked. So between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m, when my phone is locked, I can still call people, I can still access WhatsApp, I can still go on my emails if I want to, all that good stuff. I want you to know I'm not getting any kickbacks from Stay Focused. They're not going to send me a 50p and a chomp bar through the post. This is just me sharing a simple tactic with you, because I think it's easy to say, oh yeah, I'm going to be more disciplined with my phone. But it's another thing to actually put something in place that makes you more disciplined. And I think that's easier that way, right? We need more systems, we need better systems, and less trying to focus on discipline. So hopefully this episode has been useful for you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. And as ever, because it's Sunday, embrace the change, because how we change is how we grow.